Hello viewers, welcome back to Inside the Life of African Leaders. Today, we're diving into the fascinating early life of one of Africa's most influential figures, Mansa Musa. In this video, we'll talk about key points such as his early life and background, rise to power, wealth, pilgrimage to Mecca, governance, and legacy. We will also uncover some of the hidden secrets known only by a select few. So stick around, and if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications icon. Let's dive in. Chapter 1: Early Life and Background. Mansa Musa was born around 1280 in the Mali Empire, one of the most powerful and prosperous empires in West Africa during that time. The exact details of his birthplace are not well documented, but it is generally accepted that he was born within the boundaries of the empire, which included present-day Mali, Senegal, Gambia, Guinea, Niger, Nigeria, Chad, and Mauritania. His family background. Mansa Musa came from a royal lineage. He was possibly the grand-nephew of Sundiata Keita, the legendary founder of the Mali Empire. Sundiata Keita's reign marked the beginning of Mali's rise to prominence, and his legacy laid the foundation for future rulers like Mansa Musa. This royal heritage positioned Musa within the upper echelons of Mali's society, giving him access to power and influence from a young age. Education and early influences. From an early age, Mansa Musa was exposed to Islamic teachings and governance, which were integral parts of Mali's culture and administration. Islam had a profound influence on the region, and Musa's education likely included studies in Islamic law, theology, and the Arabic language. This early exposure to Islamic principles shaped his worldview and later influenced his policies as a ruler. Additionally, his upbringing in the royal court provided him with a thorough understanding of governance, politics, and military strategy. These formative experiences equipped Mansa Musa with the knowledge and skills necessary to lead and expand the Mali Empire, eventually making it one of the wealthiest and most influential empires in the world. Mansa Musa's early life was thus marked by a blend of royal privilege, rigorous education, and strong Islamic influence, all of which played a crucial role in shaping his future as one of history's most renowned rulers. Chapter 2: Rise to Power. Before becoming the emperor, Mansa Musa held various significant roles within the royal court and the military of the Mali Empire. His early involvement in politics and the military provided him with invaluable experience and insight into the workings of the empire. These roles likely included administrative duties, governance, and leadership in military campaigns, all of which helped to establish his reputation as a capable and effective leader within the royal court. Ascension to the throne. Mansa Musa ascended to the throne under unusual circumstances. The previous king, Abu Bakr II, embarked on a grand expedition to explore the Atlantic Ocean and never returned. As a result, Mansa Musa, who was appointed as deputy during Abu Bakr II's absence, became the ruler of the Mali Empire. His ascension to the throne marked the beginning of one of the most prosperous and influential periods in the history of the Mali Empire. Establishment of rule. Upon becoming emperor, Mansa Musa quickly moved to consolidate his power and strengthen the empire. He focused on stabilizing the region and expanding Mali's territory through both military conquests and diplomatic efforts. Mansa Musa's rule was characterized by significant administrative reforms, which enhanced the efficiency of governance and reinforced the central authority of the empire. One of his major achievements was the expansion of the empire's borders, incorporating more territories and thereby increasing its wealth and influence. Under his leadership, the Mali Empire reached its zenith, becoming one of the largest and richest empires in the world at the time. Mansa Musa also placed a strong emphasis on promoting Islam throughout his empire. He built numerous mosques, particularly in the major cities of Timbuktu and Gao, which became centers of learning and culture. His promotion of Islamic scholarship and architecture not only reinforced the Islamic faith among his people, but also attracted scholars, artists, and traders from across the Muslim world, further enhancing the empire's prestige and wealth. In summary, Mansa Musa's rise to power involved strategic roles in the royal court and military, a fortunate ascension following Abu Bakr II's mysterious expedition, and a series of deliberate actions to consolidate and expand the Mali Empire. His reign marked a golden age for Mali, characterized by prosperity, cultural enrichment, and the solidification of Islam as a central component of its identity. Chapter 3: Wealth and Economic Impact. The Mali Empire under Mansa Musa was one of the wealthiest regions in the world, primarily due to its abundant natural resources, particularly gold. The empire's gold mines were some of the richest and most productive in Africa, and they produced vast quantities of gold that significantly contributed to the empire's wealth. Additionally, the Mali Empire was rich in other resources such as salt, which was highly valued and traded extensively across the region. Trade networks. Mansa Musa's control over the trans-Saharan trade routes further bolstered Mali's wealth. These trade routes connected the Mali Empire to North Africa, the Middle East, and Europe, facilitating the exchange of gold, salt, ivory, and other goods. By controlling these routes, Mansa Musa ensured that Mali could benefit from the lucrative trade, bringing in not only wealth, but also cultural and intellectual exchange. Timbuktu, Gao, and other cities in the empire became major centers of commerce and learning, attracting traders, scholars, and artists from far and wide. Personal wealth. Mansa Musa's personal wealth was legendary and has become the stuff of historical lore. His wealth was so immense that it had a significant impact on the global economy. One of the most famous demonstrations of his wealth was his pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324, during which he traveled with a massive entourage and distributed gold lavishly along the way. His caravan reportedly included thousands of soldiers, officials, and attendants, as well as hundreds of camels carrying gold. During his journey, Mansa Musa's generous distribution of gold in Cairo and other places caused significant economic disruption. In Cairo, for instance, the sudden influx of gold devalued the metal, leading to inflation that took years to stabilize. This pilgrimage not only showcased Mansa Musa's wealth, but also highlighted the Mali Empire's economic power on a global scale. In summary, Mansa Musa's wealth and economic impact were profound. The Mali Empire's abundance of gold and other resources, control over critical trade networks, and Mansa Musa's personal fortune all contributed to an era of prosperity and influence. His actions, particularly his famous pilgrimage, left a lasting mark on the global economy and underscored the empire's significance in the medieval world. Chapter 4: Pilgrimage to Mecca Hajj. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324 was a meticulously planned and grandiose undertaking. The caravan he led was legendary in its scale and splendor. It included approximately 60,000 men, including soldiers, officials, attendants, and slaves. Among them were 12,000 slaves, each carrying 4 pounds of gold bars. About 100 camels, each carrying up to 300 pounds of gold. Musa himself rode on horseback and was accompanied by an array of luxuries, including silk garments, fine horses, and numerous other lavish items. The journey covered thousands of miles, crossing the Sahara Desert to reach Cairo, before continuing to Mecca. The logistical efforts were immense, ensuring food, water, and shelter for the vast entourage throughout the arduous journey. His impact on Cairo. Upon reaching Cairo, Mansa Musa's generosity became legendary. He distributed gold liberally to the poor, bought souvenirs, and made gifts to the ruling sultan and various officials. This unprecedented distribution of wealth had significant economic repercussions. Gold devaluation. The sudden influx of gold into the Cairo economy caused the value of gold to plummet. Prices for goods and commodities soared due to inflation, disrupting the local economy. Long-term impact. The economic effects were felt for over a decade, highlighting the sheer scale of Musa's wealth and the impact of his pilgrimage on a major regional economy. Significance of the pilgrimage. The pilgrimage was not just a display of wealth, but also an act of deep religious devotion. Mansa Musa's journey to Mecca was a significant spiritual undertaking, demonstrating his commitment to Islam and fulfilling one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Religious devotion. By undertaking the Hajj, Mansa Musa emphasized his piety and the importance of Islam in his life and reign. The pilgrimage served to strengthen his religious credentials and reinforce the Islamic identity of the Mali Empire. Promotion of Islam. Throughout his journey, Musa built mosques and supported Islamic scholars and institutions. His pilgrimage increased the visibility of the Mali Empire in the Muslim world and established strong cultural and religious ties with other Islamic states. Cultural exchange. The pilgrimage also facilitated cultural exchange. Scholars, artists, and traders who accompanied him or met him along the way brought back new ideas, knowledge, and skills to the Mali Empire, contributing to its cultural and intellectual richness. In summary, Mansa Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca was a landmark event characterized by grand preparation and profound impact. It showcased his immense wealth, disrupted the economy of Cairo, and reinforced his commitment to Islam, leaving a lasting legacy on both the Mali Empire and the broader Islamic world. Chapter 5: Governance and Achievements. Mansa Musa implemented several administrative reforms that significantly improved the governance and administration of the Mali Empire. Centralization of power. Musa strengthened the central authority of the empire, ensuring more efficient and uniform governance across its vast territories. He appointed loyal and capable governors to oversee various regions, maintaining tight control over provincial administrations. Taxation and revenue collection. He reformed the taxation system, ensuring that revenue collection was more efficient and systematic. This bolstered the empire's treasury, allowing for greater investment in public projects and services. Legal and judicial system. Musa improved the legal and judicial systems by incorporating Islamic principles and laws, which helped to standardize and legitimize governance practices throughout the empire. Cultural and educational contributions. Mansa Musa made significant contributions to the cultural and educational development of the Mali Empire, some of which includes establishment of universities. He established universities and madrasas, particularly in Timbuktu and Gao, which became renowned centers of learning. These institutions attracted scholars from across the Muslim world, fostering an environment of intellectual exchange and scholarship. Promotion of scholarship. Musa's patronage of scholars and religious leaders helped to promote the study of various sciences, literature, and theology. Timbuktu, in particular, became a hub of knowledge, housing vast libraries and attracting scholars from far and wide. Architectural developments. Mansa Musa embarked on an ambitious program of architectural development, leaving a lasting legacy on the built environment of the Mali Empire. Construction of mosques. Musa funded the construction of numerous mosques, the most famous being the Jinga Mosque in Timbuktu. Designed by the renowned architect Abu Ishaq al-Sahili, this mosque remains a symbol of Mali's Islamic heritage. Infrastructure projects. Beyond religious buildings, Mansa Musa invested in infrastructure projects that improved the quality of life within the empire. This included building roads, bridges, and public buildings, which facilitated trade, travel, and administration. Urban development. His reign saw the growth and beautification of cities like Timbuktu and Gao, which became not only centers of commerce, but also of culture and learning. The architectural advancements during his reign reflected the empire's prosperity and the importance of Islam. In summary, Mansa Musa's governance and achievements were marked by substantial administrative reforms, cultural and educational contributions, and architectural developments. His efforts in centralizing power, promoting scholarship, and building significant infrastructure projects left a profound and enduring legacy on the Mali Empire and the broader West African region. Chapter 6: Controversial Actions. Economic impact of the Hajj. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324 is one of the most famous aspects of his reign, but it also had controversial economic consequences. Inflation in Cairo. The massive distribution of gold during his journey, particularly in Cairo, led to a significant devaluation of gold. The sudden influx of such a large quantity of gold into the local economy caused prices of goods and services to soar, leading to inflation. This economic disruption affected Cairo and surrounding regions for over a decade, highlighting the unintended negative impact of Musa's generosity. Regional economic disruption. The economic shockwaves from his gold distribution were felt across other parts of the regions he passed through, including Mecca and Medina. The disruption served as a stark example of how even well-intentioned acts of generosity could have wide-reaching and adverse economic effects. Centralization of power. Mansa Musa's efforts to centralize power and strengthen the central authority of the Mali Empire also had controversial aspects. Tensions within the royal court. Centralizing power often involved reducing the autonomy of local leaders and nobility, which could lead to tensions and resistance. Mansa Musa's reforms likely caused friction within the royal court and among the empire's nobility, as they might have felt their traditional powers and privileges were being undermined. Control over local leaders. By appointing loyal governors and officials to oversee various regions, Mansa Musa ensured that the central government had more direct control over the empire. While this improved governance and efficiency, it also potentially marginalized local leaders and could have led to resentment and power struggles. Resistance to centralization. Efforts to impose a more centralized Islamic governance structure may have faced resistance from regions with strong local traditions or less Islamic influence. Balancing these different cultural and political dynamics would have been a significant challenge. In summary, while Mansa Musa's reign is often celebrated for its achievements and prosperity, it also included controversial actions. The economic impact of his Hajj highlighted the complexities of his immense wealth and generosity, while his centralization of power created tensions within the royal court and among local leaders. These controversies provide a more nuanced understanding of his leadership and the challenges he faced in maintaining the empire's stability and cohesion. Chapter 7: Family Life. Details about Mansa Musa's immediate family are relatively scarce, but some known family members include Mansa Musa's wife, who was Inari Kante. She played a significant role in the royal court, although specifics about her life and influence are not extensively documented. As for his children, Mansa Musa had several children, but the most notable among them was his son and successor, Mansa Magan I. His other children are less documented in historical records. Impact on governance. The influence of Mansa Musa's family on his rule and the succession process was notable. Role in governance. Family members, particularly his son Mansa Magan I, played essential roles in the governance of the empire. Mansa Magan I was appointed as the deputy ruler during Mansa Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca, managing the empire in his father's absence. This decision highlights the trust and responsibility placed on his son, showcasing the importance of family in the administration. Succession. Mansa Musa's selection of Mansa Magan I as his successor ensured a continuation of his policies and governance style. However, Magan I's reign was not as successful or long-lasting as his father's. His rule faced challenges, including internal strife and external threats, which eventually led to a period of instability in the Mali Empire. Influence on policies. While specific actions and policies influenced by family members are not well documented, it is clear that the royal family played a role in shaping the empire's governance. The stability of the royal lineage was crucial for maintaining the continuity and coherence of Mansa Musa's reforms and achievements. In summary, Mansa Musa's family life, while not extensively chronicled, had a significant impact on his governance and the succession of the Mali Empire. His wife and children, particularly his son Mansa Magan I, played roles in the administration and continuity of his rule, influencing the empire's political landscape during and after Mansa Musa's reign. Chapter 8: Legacy and Impact. Mansa Musa's leadership had enduring effects on the Mali Empire's political and economic landscape. Let's dive into some of the impacts he had. Political stability and expansion. Mansa Musa expanded the empire's territory, enhancing its political stability and influence. His centralization efforts and administrative reforms helped to solidify the empire's governance, which persisted even after his reign. Economic prosperity. The Mali Empire thrived economically under Mansa Musa's rule, primarily due to the empire's abundant gold resources and control over trans-Saharan trade routes. This economic foundation continued to support Mali's prosperity for years after his death. Educational and cultural flourishing. Mansa Musa's investments in education and culture, particularly in cities like Timbuktu, left a lasting legacy. Timbuktu became a renowned center of learning and culture, attracting scholars, artists, and traders from across the Islamic world. Contributions to global history. Mansa Musa's reign contributed significantly to global history, highlighting the wealth and cultural achievements of the Mali Empire. Global recognition. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca and a display of his immense wealth brought international recognition to the Mali Empire. Accounts of his journey were recorded by historians and travelers, making him one of the most famous African rulers in history. Economic influence. The gold Mansa Musa distributed during his pilgrimage affected economies far beyond Mali, including those of North Africa and the Middle East. This highlighted the interconnectedness of global trade networks and the economic significance of the Mali Empire. Cultural exchange. His reign facilitated cultural and intellectual exchanges between Mali and other parts of the Islamic world, enriching both Mali's culture and the broader Islamic civilization. His historical and cultural significance. Mansa Musa's memory endures in Mali, Africa, and the world, reflecting his historical and cultural significance. Mali and West Africa. In Mali and West Africa, Mansa Musa is remembered as a legendary ruler whose reign marked a golden age of prosperity and cultural achievement. His legacy is celebrated in local folklore, history, and cultural identity. African pride. Mansa Musa's story is a source of pride across Africa, symbolizing the rich history and achievements of African civilizations before European colonization. His successful reign challenges stereotypes about pre-colonial Africa and highlights the continent's historical significance. Global influence. Globally, Mansa Musa is recognized as one of the wealthiest individuals in history and a symbol of Africa's historical prominence. His story is often cited in discussions about African history, wealth, and cultural achievements. In summary, Mansa Musa's legacy and impact are profound and multifaceted. His leadership had lasting effects on Mali's political and economic landscape, contributed significantly to global history, and left an enduring cultural and historical legacy. His reign is remembered as a period of unparalleled prosperity and cultural flourishing, making him a celebrated figure in Mali, Africa, and the world. Chapter 9. Conclusion. To wrap up, Mansa Musa's life was a remarkable journey from his early years in the Mali Empire to becoming one of history's wealthiest and most influential figures. Rising to power after the disappearance of the previous king, Musa used his vast wealth to make a global impression, especially during his legendary pilgrimage to Mecca. His reign was marked by significant economic prosperity, impressive governance reforms, and a flourishing of culture and education. Reflecting on his impact, Mansa Musa's story highlights the grandeur of the Mali Empire and its role in global history. His pilgrimage disrupted economies and showcased Mali's immense wealth, while his support for education and infrastructure left a lasting legacy. Musa's life remains a powerful testament to the influence of visionary leadership and the richness of African heritage. If you enjoyed this video, share your thoughts with us in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell icon to be notified when we upload a new video.